Ian Garry is delusional. Now, so is every other fighter in the UFC. That's what it takes to get far in this sport. However, Ian Garry is truly limit testing just how far delusion can get you in a sporting endeavor. I've been watching his fight week interviews. I'm going to go through this one with the Mac Life. This was his media day interview for UFC Fight Night Kansas City. He's fighting Carlos Prates this weekend. It's a huge fight. He's also done an interview with Full Send MMA as well. And in these interviews, he's been yapping absolute nonsense. And I'm going to go through some of those moments in today's video. If he wins this weekend, fair play to him. You know what I mean? I think Ian Garry is a very, very good fighter. I want to say that. So I'm not acting like Ian Garry isn't one of the best fighters in the world. He is. I think Carlos Prates is going to win. But you can think Ian Garry's going to win, and he is a favorite this weekend, and it's because he's a very, very high-level fighter. I want to get that out the way. However, he is risking absolute humiliation if he is to lose this weekend against Carlos Prates, especially if he's going to lose the way that Carlos Prates makes his opponent lose, because Prates knocks people out badly. And if that happens to Ian Garry after he's saying some of this that I'm going to show you today, the highlights and the edits are going to go crazy. We're going to go through some moments here in this interview, starting at 2 minutes and 57 seconds of the video. There's so much to go through, okay? We're going to start straight away with this. I don't even know what these are because I've forgotten what they are. But I'm just going to go through them, and once I've heard them, I'll know what to say.
What do you attribute that to?
Neil Magny's soul is in my back pocket as we speak right now. He has never been the same since I fought him, so good job. You did a good job against a guy you're better than. Congratulations. I'm not Neil Magny.
Correct. I don't think Ian Garry ruined the career of Neil Magny. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I don't think that Neil Magny has just been never the same since what Ian Garry did to him. Don't get me wrong, Ian Garry had a really good performance against Neil Magny. But Neil Magny has forever been this guy that people have had to get through to get... Even Gilbert Burns did this years before you did, buddy. You know what I mean? People have gone through Neil Magny throughout their career. Ponzinibbio did it before you. You know what I'm saying? That's how far we can go back. So I don't think Ian Garry can say he's not been the same since what I did to him. Like before that, Neil Magny was some top contender world beater. Listen, he had a sneaky win over Jeff Neal, which Ian Garry also has. But I don't think Neil Magny was this monster on the come up. He ain't been the same since I chewed up his leg. I don't get that whatsoever. I understand Neil Magny may be worse off now, but we're just starting it off rip. Chill out, dude. People have been beating Neil Magny for a very long time, okay? Neil Magny hasn't been the same since what I did to him, because before that he was surging towards the world championship, was he? All good.
And if you watch the fight against Neil Magny, you know I can do just the same things you did, if not better. I'm faster.
Prates flatline KO'd Neil Magny. Ian Garry did not do that. But it's all good. There's so much more in this, okay? I'm nitpicking here and there, but trust me, he gets into look what happened to Rakhmonov. Like he didn't beat Ian Garry in their fight. Like there's so many moments in these interviews. Let me go.
I'm more talented. I'm more technical than this guy is. This guy's a one-trick pony. He's got a left hand, he's got a left knee, and he's got a left leg.
So he's a three-trick pony then, Ian Garry. Sounds like a three-trick pony to me. But fair enough. He's going all out, dude. Ian Garry's selling the hell out of this fight. And I love this. Because I've become more invested. I was listening to these interviews earlier. And I'm now more invested in this fight than I ever thought I was. Okay?
They're all on one side. I've got everything I need. I can beat him everywhere for every second of this fight. And that's my plan on Saturday night.
Pretty basic statement to begin with. Couple bits of delusion in there as well. But, you know, we're going to get to some extra ones. I know you guys saw this interview and thought, what the actual fuck am I listening to? 344.
Look, the dude smokes American cigarettes, drinks Irish whiskey. Meanwhile, I'm in Brazil having Guaraná, açaí, and paçoquita. I'm more Brazilian than this guy is.
So we're taking shots at Carlos Prates' Brazilianness in comparison to Ian Garry. Okay? That's what Ian Garry's doing here. You know, Carlos Prates smokes American cigarettes. He drinks Irish whiskey. I'm in Brazil. Like, Carlos Prates is not in Brazil as well at times. He trains. He's born and raised in Brazil, Ian Garry. I get this. This is taken like, listen, Dricus du Plessis probably being like, geez, I didn't know the level of this guy's game. Okay? Think about how angry Adesanya and Usman got at the slight little dig that Dricus du Plessis gave them. Ian Garry's been there for a couple years training at shooter box. All of a sudden, Carlos Prates is less Brazilian than Ian Garry. I train there, like Carlos Prates does, and also as well, dude. He's going all out.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm not only this, I've got his whole country wanting me to win. And I think
Ian Garry's saying some shit in the build-up of this fight, you guys. I don't know if anyone's missing out on this. And the UFC don't promote this type of stuff. But I'm going to show you what Ian Garry's been saying in the build-up of this fight. The whole of his country is rooting for him to win. Ian Garry he's really got the whole of Brazil behind him here, you guys. Believe him. Ian Garry's got the whole of Brazil behind him. They're not behind Brazilian fighter Carlos Prates. They're behind Ian Garry because he trained at shooter box for a year. I'm just we're just being real here.
I think that's just, look, that's his.
And then he goes on, and there's another moment. There's so many moments I've got to get through in this video, dude. There's so many worse ones as well. Here we go.
You've taken with a win. Do you feel like what do you think that does for you?
When I win on Saturday night.
With a win, what do you think it does for you, Ian Garry? Now remember, he's coming off a loss. And he's taking on a lower-ranked Carlos Prates. This is a big fight. And if he wins, it will be a huge win. I think he's number 6 or 7 ranked in the welterweight division. But it's all good.
Right. And I put on the show I'm going to put on against Carlos Prates, and I finish him. There is no other option. I am next. You take these fights on short notice. You show up. You save the card. That means I'm next. And if anyone has a problem, guess what? I love to fight. When I win that belt, you can come see me in that octagon.
So Ian Garry, remember, is coming off of a loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov. This is the world we're in. I know Ian Garry may not believe it is, but he's coming off of that loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov. But when he beats Carlos Prates this weekend, he's next for the title, you guys. Fuck Sean Brady. Joaquin Buckley, I get maybe he'll have an argument over him, but forget Sean Brady, dude. Shavkat Rakhmonov, who? Never heard of him. Just lost to him, by the way. Okay? Makhachev thinking about moving up. He'll talk about that in a second as well and act like he's it's him and Makhachev at the top of this sport right now. Wait for that. But he's just like, I'm next for the title, dude. And if anyone has a problem, once I get the belt, then they can fight me. The guy who just lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov in his last fight. Interesting stuff, again, from Ian Garry here. But it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. We go to 8:57 here.
So hypothetically, if you get through Saturday night with a win, would you be at all interested if something were to pop up last minute to take the call in a couple of weeks and fight for the belt? Or would you need a little bit more time to turn around and potentially get that opportunity?
What if I told you my flights were already booked?
If Ian Garry loses this... If Carlos Prates knocks out Ian Garry this weekend, my flights are already booked. He's talking about getting flights to Canada so he can be there for the title winner of Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena, who he thinks, by the way, is going to be Belal Muhammad. He'll get to that in a second. The flights are already booked to you guys. Listen, there is something to be said about the level of confidence that Ian Garry has. You have to respect it. I have to respect it. I respect him for stepping in and fighting Carlos Prates in the first place on short notice. Not too short notice, but not an ideal full 10-week training camp with absolute preparation. The fact that his tickets are already booked for UFC 315 in Canada, so he can be there in the crowd for what he thinks is going to be his moment where he gets guaranteed the winner of Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Or he could have a chance of filling in on short notice. Dude, if he gets smoked by Prates by KO this weekend, which is somewhat likely, by the way. Very likely, I would say. I think this is like a 50-50 fight. I'm leaning Prates. And if Prates wins, there's a solid chance it's going to be by brutal KO. My flights are already booked. I'm going to be there in the crowd. If Ian Garry loses, I pray to God, whoever's running the UFC camera team up there in Canada, please pan to him anyway. Sitting in the crowd off a loss to Carlos Prates with a broken nose. Because that could be the reality here. He's risking absolute humiliation. This is what the sport's all about.
I'm ready.
He's just willing this into existence here. 10:55. There's another moment to go through here as well.
Streak. Shavkat was 18-0 with 18 finishes. How did that fight go?
He's now 19-0 after beating you. He's talking about Carlos. This is very important to hear. He's talking about Carlos Prates' win streak and why it's not that impressive because look what he just did to Shavkat Rakhmonov. Okay? Hear him out.
And fight knockout streak. Shavkat was 18-0 with 18 finishes. How did that fight go? I think he left that octagon feeling a lot less of a man than he was beforehand.
He beat Ian Garry like 4 rounds to 1 by decision, you know. Just in case you guys were to see this interview and think Ian Garry had destroyed Shavkat Rakhmonov. Shavkat Rakhmonov is a man at welterweight, for all the casual fans out there, that just beat... Listen, Ian Garry had a good performance and he didn't lose any stock with the performance. Don't get me wrong. He did not lose any stock and he had a really good performance. Shavkat Rakhmonov won the fight. He was on a 17-fight win streak, and look what happened in that fight. He won and became 18-0 by defeating you, arguably 4-1 on rounds. There was a swing round, there was a round 5 that you clearly won, and then there were 3 rounds that Shavkat Rakhmonov clearly won. It wasn't a good performance from him, don't get me wrong. He made Shavkat look somewhat human, but he lost the fight. Look what happened to Shavkat. He was on a 17-fight win streak. He's now 18-0 with a win over you. It's very telling that, you know, Ian Garry leaves that fight with this sense of, I'm next for the title after that one. But Shavkat should be ashamed and feels a lot less of himself as a man. Not Ian Garry, though, the guy that lost. It's very interesting mindset from Ian Garry here.
I'm telling you now, on Saturday night against Carlos Prates. Look, this guy might have 4 bonuses against 4 nobodies. I've got more wins in the top 15 than he does in the fights in the UFC.
He doesn't, by the way. He has 2 wins against top 15 opponents. Carlos Prates has 4, you know. But it's all good. We're just making shit up, okay? It's all good. He beat MVP at number 15 and Jeff Neal at number 11 in the rankings. Those are his wins. Maybe he's talking about at the time of beating them, they were ranked. In which case, maybe he would then include Neil Magny. Daniel Rodriguez, was he maybe ranked? I mean, I know he's not including Shavkat Rakhmonov in that. He better not be including Shavkat Rakhmonov in that list of all of these ranked opponents that he's beaten. It's interesting. It's interesting mindset from Ian Garry. We go to 11 minutes and 50 seconds of this interview.
Training and stuff like that. So then I fight Bilal, I beat Bilal, and then there's a choice. Do I defend against the pound-for-pound number 1 and Islam Makhachev and welcome him up to the welterweight division, or do I fight Shavkat Rakhmonov after he comes off the injury that I prevented him from fighting for the belt right now?
He's already there. I respect the confidence. He's actually, you know what some fighters do with this? He's already there, like, once I win this one against Carlos Prates and become number 6 ranked at welterweight with a big win, or maybe number 5, who knows, I'll be getting the title shot, and once I win, I'll decide whether Makhachev wants to move up or I give it to Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's the guy who just beat me. Like, Shavkat isn't going to be ahead of him in the discussion for a title shot. He's number 1 ranked at welterweight, coming off of a win over you. Ian Garry is literally limit testing God. I actually think he is. He's like, dude, there's no way the powers that be are going to humiliate me this much. He's actually testing the MMA gods. Like, there's no way. They can't humiliate me. I'm going to talk so much confidence and I'm going to say so much shit ahead of time that this level of humiliation just won't occur. And I respect it. I'm now more invested in this fight than I ever thought I would be. I've never seen levels like this. 12:33.
Amazing everywhere. But I believe both me and Islam show the new evolution of MMA fighters. You can't be good in one area. You have to be great in every area. And that's what I believe me and Islam are. So
yeah. If I had to speak on the evolution of MMA, dude, it's Makhachev and Ian Garry, dude. That's what... And listen, we are changing the face of MMA right now. He's doing Ilya Topuria fan shit up there. No, me and Islam Makhachev, we are changing how the future of MMA is to be looked at. We have to... And you have to be good everywhere. Ian Garry, no submission wins, by the way. You know? Have to be great everywhere. I took the back of some guy once. He took the back of Shavkat Rakhmonov. He got the back of him very well. Good job. He reversed a takedown and got the back. You aren't Islam Makhachev level well-roundedness, little bro. Maybe he'll show it this fight. Dude, if Makhachev has his respective version of MVP, a pure striker, on the ground at lightweight, they're subbed in a round. They're done. It's over with. You've failed 2 rear naked choke attempts in your career, and all of a sudden, we are the best well-rounded fighters. Me and Makhachev, we are the future of the sport. What is going on? What is this? Could this work? Is this allowed? Should this be I think this should be banned. If he pulls it off, I think we might need to, fix this in the game that we're in right now. Are we sure this level of... I don't know if this is even allowed. Is he just going to speak this into existence? He might be able to. That's the thing that we're going to see this weekend, dude. If Prates slumps him out cold, I swear to God. 13:28.
If Jack wins and Islam Makhachev comes up, then every single person in the welterweight division can sit the fuck down and give that man the respect he deserves. Does that make sense? He's the number 1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. What you do is you sit down, you shut your mouth, and you say, okay, you're next.
Very easy to say. Very easy to say for a guy who isn't a top contender right now. Sean Brady and Shavkat Rakhmonov are the top contenders of the welterweight division. I don't think the loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov sets Ian Garry back that far. If he wins this, he's going to need another win. That's a fact. If he wins this fight against Carlos Prates this weekend, which is an if, he's going to need another big win up the rankings to earn his shot. Sean Brady just dominated former champ Leon Edwards, who's coming off of the loss for the championship that he was a defending champion in. And he destroyed him and finished him. Shavkat Rakhmonov just beat you. And Ian Garry's like, listen, everyone needs to just sit back and let him do his thing. I speak for all top contenders here that are right there for a title shot. You're not in the... tell that to Shavkat and Sean Brady. They're going to feel a different fucking way about Islam Makhachev coming up and jumping the queue. All good, though.
So you're good with that?
100%. I give that man respect, and I'll just tell him that I'm next. Does that make sense? When he fights, I'll fight him afterwards. But I'll give him the respect he deserves, and I believe everybody else in the top 15 should do the same.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow, dude. Real great stuff from Ian Garry here. Okay? Everyone else in the top 15, all the other top contenders right there for a title shot, they should feel the same as I do. And they should let Makhachev. I'll let Makhachev get his shot. This is the way Ian Garry's talking about Islam Makhachev here. Hey, if Islam Makhachev's going to move up, I'll let him have his title shot out of respect. That'll be within Ian Garry's control. No, the UFC might go, I'm sorry, Makhachev, you're going to have to make way for Ian Garry's title shot here at welterweight. We can't have you moving up and fighting JDM. But Ian Garry, you just heard him say then, I'll let Islam Makhachev move up.
I'm next.
So you're good
for pound fighter in the world. What you do is you sit down, you shut your mouth, and you say, okay, you're next.
So you're good with that?
100%. I give that man respect, and I'll just tell him that I'm next. Does that make sense? When he fights, I'll fight him afterwards. But I'll give him the respect he deserves, and I believe everybody else in the top 15 should do the same.
Well, thank God. Makhachev's breathing a sigh of relief right now, because he thought his title shot was about to get taken by Ian Garry for a second. Moving on to another interview with Full Send MMA. Shout out to Full Send MMA as well. He does good interviews in MMA. I mean, I'm going to cover his part of the screen here because Ian Garry's on the other side. This is some crazy stuff as well from Ian Garry. I'm going to let it play.
Like 100% in your eyes, you get the win this weekend in impressive fashion. There's nobody else that should be the number one contender.
Unless
Shavkat Rakhmonov, the guy that just beat you, all good.
Fashion, there's nobody else that should be the number one contender.
Unless Jack wins and Islam Makhachev wants to step in, I'll give all the respect in the world to him and let him go first.
I was going to let Makhachev go first. Thank God. You know, he's such a nice guy, this Ian Garry guy.
What about Joaquin Buckley?
He beat Kobe, dude. He beat Kobe. He needs. I think what the UFC is gonna do is all be next to the belt after this because no one gives a about Joaquin Buckley fighting for a title. They don't care. No one's watching. No one's tuning in.
By the way, this interview with Ian Garry, I can't show you on screen right now, but it's on Full Send MMA. It has just under 7,000 views in a day. Okay? I understand his point about Buckley, though. I agree, Buckley is not deserving of a title shot right now. He needs one more. I think Ian Garry off a win with Carlos Prates is in the same position as Joaquin Buckley, where he's going to need one more. I think Brady and Rakhmonov should be fighting each other. But Rakhmonov's up the top.
No one's buying pay-per-views. I think they'll do Buckley versus Brady for the number one contender, which makes a lot of sense because I think both of them need one more win. Obviously, you've got Shavkat or whatever he's doing. He's off injured for a year because of someone kicked his leg repeatedly. Yeah.
He pulled out of a title fight with an injury. That'd be Ian Garry's couple stomps he landed in round 2, dude. Yeesh. Oh, dude. He's been out forever since then. I mean, to be fair, Shavkat is injured. He's also coming off a win over you as a number one contender in the division. So whoever that guy is, Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's that? Don't know him. Never heard of that guy, dude. Shavkat has a win over you. Someone needs to stand in Ian Garry's face and say, you lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov. Accept it.
I can't remember what that is.
Yeah, I can't remember that anyway. 8:40 on the clock as well.
So I think Bilal mauls him. And then when you want to sell a pay-per-view and make a main event and put a main event of a pay-per-view, Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Garry for the welterweight world title is the biggest fight you can make in the division. No one gives a about Joaquin Buckley or Sean Brady.
I mean,
Shavkat is Ian Garry's looked at the camera very office style. Now, Ian Garry's going to do something that makes my fucking skin crawl. Okay? I'm the only way I can describe this, I'm going to let you see it after he said this. But I'm going to try and get out the way if I can while he does this movement on the reporter. After he said that. Watch this again, okay?
No one gives a about Joaquin Buckley or Sean Brady.
I mean, I'm
not wrong.
Listen.
Ah! Oh, God!
I mean, I'm
not wrong.
Ugh, God, this can only be described in MMA interview terms. This is like sexual harassment Riz. It's what he's doing. You know? I'm not wrong. It's straight in the interviewer's face. Like there's no other top contender right now at welterweight but him. Ugh. God, he makes your skin crawl.
I mean,
Let me give it all.
About Joaquin Buckley or Sean Brady.
I mean, I'm
not wrong.
Listen.
He's laughing.
Cat's got my
And
tongue.
he
Cat's got my
knows.
tongue. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, man, there's other guys above you in the rankings, man. Oh, you know when someone's so enthusiastic in front of you when they say something that they like, I dare you to say no right now and make this really awkward. You know those people that force acceptance out of you in social exchanges? Because if you don't accept, it will be a really awkward situation. That's what I mean by this sort of like sexual harassment, dude. In another world, Ian Garry's a rapist. I swear to God, dude, some of the energy that he gives off in these interviews, I'm not wrong, straight in this guy's face. Like, If you say I'm wrong right now, it will be a really awkward moment. Just go with it type of thing. You know what I mean? God. 11-13 as well. I'm invested for the fight at least. I've said that so many times, but I do want to reiterate. He's a great fighter, and I'm all in on the fight.
I sit at home some days and I watch old Muhammad Ali videos, and the way he spoke and the way he got people entertained, that's this X factor that too many people are missing. Joaquin Buckley barely speaks English, and Sean Brady looks like he's out of Lord of the Rings. So no one gives a about these guys. You put me in an octagon, I've got the whole of Ireland behind me. I've got Brazil. I've got fucking America in love with me and divide.
He's going to correct himself, but I'm going to do it quickly before him. Dude, what world is Ian Garry in? Dude, he must live an amazing life, you know. I'm actually kind of fucking jealous of Ian Garry. Is anyone else kind of jealous? Imagine seeing the world in this way. He's got the whole of Ireland behind him. The entirety of Brazil is behind Ian Garry, you guys. In Ian Garry's head, this is how he views the world. Ireland's behind him. The whole of Brazil is behind him as well. Not Carlos Prates and the Fighting Nerds. No, they're behind Ian Garry. America's in love with him, guys. He's going to correct himself, but I honestly, dude, I envy this. How can one have this level of delusion?
Behind me. I've got Brazil. I've got fucking America in love with me and the...
He's going to correct it. He's going to correct it afterwards. America's in love with me. Oh, no, they're not. They hate me. Hang on.
Ireland behind me. I've got Brazil. I've got fucking America in love with me and divided and hate with me because of other things. But at the end of the day...
What other things, Ian Garry? Just some other things, you know? What are the other things, Ian Garry, as to why they hate you? That's all I want to know. And I want to show you something very interesting here at the end of the video. Very interesting here. That if I didn't mention this, you guys would leave this in the comments below. I'm going to show you this right now. When Ian Garry says that America is divided on him because of other things, look where his eyes go. Okay?
Fucking America in love with me and divided and hate with me because of other things.
He's looking at his wife off camera. Because of other things. And he looks, if you haven't watched this interview, Layla, the wife of Ian Garry, is off camera, laughing at things, tuning in with little messages of her own. When he says that he's already booked the tickets in this interview to Canada, she says, I'll send you an email. She's off to the side. When Ian Garry says, you know, America's in love with me and divided about me because of other things, his eyes go straight to his wife.
I've got fucking America in love with me and divided and hate with me because of other things. But
I'm going to leave it there for Ian Garry, dude. I'm all in this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Ian Garry, guys. It's been the Ian Garry show all week long on the media, but hey, I'll promote it for you. There's fucking absolute humiliation on the line this weekend between Ian Garry and Carlos Prates. I'll do the promoting that the UFC will not do. There is absolute humiliation on the line. He even did some cringe social media post as well at some point. If Prates knocks out Ian Garry, this is going to be one of the biggest humiliating moments a fighter has ever had. Honestly. There's been others in the sport, but if you hadn't been watching these interviews, because no one is, this one's got 6,000 views on Full Send MMA. And listen, you know, Full Send MMA is not the biggest of channels, but you can draw some numbers. Ian Garry's pulled 7,000 views, just under 7,000 views in 24 hours. So I need to get this out to you. You need to know just how humiliating this could possibly be this weekend. And also, just how cool it could be, I guess, if he pulls this off and limit tests just how far delusion can get you in this world. See you later. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye. UFC Fight Night Kansas City this weekend. On UFC Fight Pass for the prelims. On ESPN Plus for the main card. If you're in the UK, it's on TNT Sports. Check it out. There's a lot on the line. Goodbye. Toodle pip.